The last 2 months or so have been mostly filled with a lot of packing, a lot of visits to IKEA, and a good deal of furniture building. That's because my wife and I are moving. Yep, that's right. We're moving from the area of Fabijoniškės far, far, far away to, well, this approximate area of Vilnius, closer to the city. But now that I'm moving from Fabijoniškės, I can more openly talk about it as the area of the city that I lived in for about 2.5 years. While I try to remain semi-anonymous and private, at the same time I'm growing a YouTube channel, I'm sure some of you had already figured out that I was living in this part of Vilnius, just based on the random footage I would include in my videos and on my Instagram posts. While I'm quite excited to be moving closer to the city center, I wanted to make this video an ode to my old neighborhood of Fabijoniškės. I want to talk about the things that I enjoyed about it, the things that I'll miss, and some of the things that I was not so fond of. So let's get started. Well, according to Lithuanian Wikipedia, I guess Wikipedia, most of the current buildings in Fabijoniškės were built in 1986, with the area being a new Vilnius microdistrict. It's about 6 kilometers away from the river and city center, and is mostly residential. Mykolo Romerio Universitetas, or MRU, is located here, while there are a few prekybos centrai around too. The biggest are Mandarinas, somewhere I went to quite often, as well as Benedikto Turgus, somewhere that looked pretty cool, but it wasn't something that I visited too often. If I needed something that wasn't available at Mandarinas, I would probably take the bus or just walk down to the major shopping center that is Acropolis. Technically, I think Acropolis is outside of Fabijoniškės, but close enough for me anyways. So in my personal opinion, the single largest defining factor of Fabijoniškės was its Soviet apartment blocks. And while I didn't live in one of those old Soviet-era apartments personally, I'll miss seeing them a little bit. Just a little bit. Sure, I bet those unrenovated ones aren't too nice to live in anymore, but I guess, to me, they represent one chapter of Lithuania's history and its struggle for independence. These kinds of building developments are unlike anything I grew up with in Canada, and so it's a good reminder of the journey that I've been on. They look awfully bleak on those dark winter days, and perhaps a little more tolerable during nicer weather, but it always feels like being transported to a different world when walking through. I'll miss telling people that I live in the area of where they filmed part of Chernobyl, since the filmmakers used Fabijoniškės to represent the Ukrainian city of Pripyat. But of course, these big developments are all over the city, from Karoliniškės to Žirmūnai. And so it's not exactly difficult to see areas like this again, if I really wanted to. I'll miss having the forest pretty much being my backyard. They weren't massive forest areas, but big enough that you could spend an hour or two circling through the trails. I once saw a deer across the road, and on another occasion, I saw a hedgehog. I feel like there will be a lot less encounters with wildlife in my new surroundings. I'll miss the relative quiet of the area. Just the other night, staying at the new place, the concert from Vingis Park was so loud that I could hear it all the way from across the river. I'm pretty sure that being closer to the city will be an overall more noisy experience. At the same time, the old apartment had some noise issues too. At first I thought there were some annoying car alarms going off at random times of the day and night, but more recently I think I've discovered that it's actually one of the industrial buildings nearby. I have no idea what is triggering these stupid alarms, but I won't miss being woken up at 3 a.m. with these awful sounds. The other things disturbing the peace has been aggressive drivers with their loud motorcycles and cars zooming up and down the road. I'm surprised people dare to get away with this, even though the road is so close to a police station. But yeah, it happens. So, what am I looking forward to with the new place? Well, I think this move was all about location, location, location. But also, we are having a child, and, well, we had to move to a new apartment anyways, one that had a little more space. We secured a new apartment long before we knew that we would be having a child, so I guess the timing worked out quite well. But above all, I like the fact that our new place is a relatively short walk to the river and then on to the city center. Hopefully, this will allow for more YouTube filming opportunities with all the events and things taking place in the city center. So I guess the end of this video will be me saying goodbye to living in Fabijoniškės. Goodbye to using my kick scooter to ride down the smooth bicycle lane along Stanavichus. Goodbye to my favorite buses that connected me to the city center, with bus numbers 53, 56, 40, and 10. Goodbye to the conveniently placed and sufficiently diverse shopping center that was Mandarinas. And also goodbye to the Vizia barbershop that seemed to be open pretty much all the time. I started going there when haircuts were 10 euros, and now it's 15 euros, but I just got used to going there. Would I recommend visiting this area of Vilnius if you're a tourist? Well, I think if you're in the city for more than 3 days, I think it's worth a bus ride up to visit for half a day. But like I said earlier, these gray apartment blocks can be found in other neighborhoods too. I guess it's the ones in Fabijoniškės that are the most special to me. Have you ever been to this part of Vilnius? And if not, is it possibly somewhere you'd want to visit? Let me know by leaving a comment. And for the Lithuanian word of the day, let's go with rajonas, which can mean district or area or neighborhood. Rajonas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.